This is Big Nick from your WHS Eye on the Eagle Morning News. Juniors, please remind your parents to complete the parent survey and please return them to your teacher. Teachers, please send any surveys to the main office. Senior cap and gown pictures will be made on Tuesday, April 28th in the auditorium. Order forms and sign-up times are located out of room 511, Miss Reamer. Reminder, payment is due at the time of the portraits are taken. Boys are reminded that a tie and a shirt with a collar and are required. There will be no makeup days for these pictures. Project Unify's Blue and Silver pageant will be held on Friday, May 15th. Rehearsals have begun. They are Tuesdays and Thursdays during first and second lunch in room 305. To sign up, please see Miss Middleton. So far, we have 20 girls. Thank you for the continued support. Anyone interested in trying out for the 2015-2016 cheerleading squads, please pick up a tryout packet in room 506 and return your signed packet by Monday, April 20th. Any girl interested in playing tennis for the 2016 season needs to meet Coach Chapman in room 102 Monday, April 20th or Wednesday, April 22nd to learn more about participating in the upcoming season. This is at lunch. Airport defeated Batesburg-Leesville 6-0 Tuesday. The entire lineup of Jacob Watts, Ben Elbricht, Jeremy Best, Alex Poovey, Jeffrey Green, Chris Noel, and Hunter Lawhorn picked up comfortable wins. The team moved to 8-2 on the season. Congrats, guys. And congratulations to the girls varsity soccer team on their 2-1 victory over Swansea Tuesday night. The game was decided by penalty kicks as Airport made their first 4 to win it 4-2. Scoring in regulation was Kayla Manziel. Scoring their penalty kicks were Kayla Manziel, Taylor Sofley, Haley Davis, and Katrina Phelps. The Lady Eagles are now 5-1 in the region. Congrats, ladies. And that's your announcements for today, Airport. Have a great day.
Hey there, I'm Spencer Brooks, and I'm running for Supreme Overlord of Airport High School. We've known for years that I've been running this school in the background. Now, it's only a matter of time. You can vote me to be Supreme Overlord, and I promise I will buy live eagles to fly with the football team at home games. We will be building a runway and B-lot because this is the future, and there will be flying cars. And the food, it has to go. It's bow time. You know what to do. I will take down Dixon. I know what's best for you. Vote Spencer Brooks, Supreme Overlord. Cue the balloons.
I'm Nick, and this is my slumber party. This is Tammy Lee.
I'm Tammy Lee. Hey guys.
We just got back from spring break.
Yes, we did.
I went to the Caribbean, and I got a leg. Genuine Hawaiian.
Wait a minute. How you go to Caribbean but get a leg? That's supposed to be Hawaii.
They shipped it in. It was so awesome.
Oh, okay.
And I did so much tanning, but it didn't really work.
Yeah, I don't need a tan.
Get to take trips to the lake.
Yeah.
It's so great with like toes in the water and you're like sitting on the sand and then the sun and you get the tan. It's the best.
It's the best. It is the best. So, you know what's ill?
What's
Flowers.
What? I love flowers. Flowers are so beautiful. I don't like what flowers bring though.
What do they bring? I don't know.
Pollen.
Yeah, pollen is ill.
No one likes pollen, and the bees and the bugs, they try to sting me.
No, I can't do that.
I don't like it. I'm a princess, I cannot be stung.
Yeah.
But I think that I have to go see my stepdad.
Yeah.
Because he has pizza.
He's got pizza?
Yeah.
Let's go get it.
We love pizza.
Yeah.
So that was our session.
Yeah.
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 Have a great day, Airport.
Is it hard for you to say those words? We're trying to cure cancer.
That's a really good question, and why it's hard to say we want to cure cancer. We do. And I think sometimes it's hard actually to think that you might actually succeed.
Patients that we're treating on this clinical trial have absolutely no other options left for them. These are patients who are unfortunately destined to die of their disease, and in a fairly short amount of time.
Emily Whitehead, 554.
So Emma is incredibly matter-of-fact about all of this stuff. This was a child who had had her leukemia come back twice. The parents were looking for a miracle.
What we've learned how to do is train the immune system to recognize and then kill tumor cells.
It's a procedure where we collect their T cells, and they are infected with a virus that will genetically change them so that they will now see and react against their leukemia cells.
And we actually use the HIV virus to do that.
So you're taking the HIV virus and infecting healthy cells with it to help kill cancer?
Yes. The virus has been engineered so that it can't cause disease anymore. But it still retains the ability to reprogram the immune system so that it will now attack cancer cells. We call those modified immune cells serial killer cells. Each infused cell can kill more than 1,000 different tumor cells.
But the reality is the dramatic responses of cancer to new treatments are very unusual. We need to make it clear when we talk to a family that it may not work. Emma was given her T-cell treatment, and within a few days, she was very sick. She had breathing difficulties, she had blood pressure difficulties. We knew that she could not have gotten any sicker without actually dying.
But then a remarkable thing happened. The T cells were growing, they were starting to fight the cancer.
Within hours, Emma's fever disappeared.
It was like the calm after the storm. The clouds went away, and she woke up and there was no leukemia. When that child survived, it was, of course, an amazing event.
I need a nurse.
I want to be a mechanic.
I want to be a plastic surgeon. That's what I'm going to do.
I'd be a tattoo artist.
I want to be the owner of my own daycare. I want to be
an electronic engineer.
A mermaid.
I want to be a pediatric nurse.
An engineer.
psychiatrist, a combat medic for the army,
A journalist.
Like to be an aircraft and power plant mechanic.
I want to be a princess. A dentist.
In college, I would be majoring in computer science.
And Reamer.
You program computers, right?
Yes, this is starting in the building blocks of computer software, like games, apps, TV, and different stuff like that.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Nope.
A computer programmer, it programs computers.
Computer programmer is men and women who use computer programming to design every aspect of computer games, you know, databases, systems, all that.
Okay.
Computer programmer attaches software to computers to help them run better and checks for any problems the computer may have, troubleshoots, things of that nature. He's also familiar with hardware that goes on the computer.
What kind of computer skills are you going to need for that?
I know a lot now.
Awesome. Do you need a computer for that job?
Yes.
What would you use a computer for at a daycare center?
Scheduling and like setting up appointments and meeting people and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anytime.
Nowadays, just about everything requires some form of programming. So, what is it? Programming is basically explaining to a computer what you want it to do for you.
When you're programming, you're teaching possibly the stupidest thing in the entire universe, a computer, how to do something.
Programming is one of the only things in the world that you can do where you can sit down and just make something completely new from scratch, you know, whatever you want.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
Coding is something that can be learned, and I know it can be intimidating. A lot of things are intimidating, but you know, what isn't?
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than, you know, sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
Well, if it's fairly simple, why aren't there more of us doing it? Over the next 10 years, there will be 1.4 million jobs in computer science, and only about 400,000 grads qualified for those jobs. That's a shortage of 1 million people. So, how do you start?
I was obsessed with maps when I was a kid, and cities specifically. So I taught myself how to program. I had a very clear goal of what I wanted to do, which is to see a map of the city on my screen and play with it. Put things on the map, move things around the map. See what was happening in the city, how it worked, how it lived, how it breathed.
The best early thing was actually using software to decide when the classes in my school would meet, and that put me in a position to decide which girls were in my class.
The first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
The first time I actually had something come up and say, hello world, and I made a computer do that. It was just astonishing.
When I finally learned a little bit of programming, that blank wall resolved into a bunch of doors, and you open them, and finally you start to open enough doors that the light comes in. And to me, a finished program is like a structure filled with light. All the corners are illuminated. You understand the structure of it. It's a really serene feeling to have completed that.
It took me some time to realize that creating things with your hands or creating code, creating programs, is just a different way to express creativity. I think right now there's a big emergence of the culture of making. People who make their own scarves and hats, people who write their own apps.
Now it's just limited by your imagination and sort of what kinds of ideas what kind of understanding can you build into the computer so that it can do these things that were previously impossible.
All great things are built in teams when you collaborate with other smart people.
I
You're testing your ideas, you're stimulating each other. That's what makes us successful. It's not some flash of brilliance by somebody who then codes 24 hours a day for 3 weeks. It's what happened. The magic happens when we're all on the same page, collaborating and building something together.
There's a much greater need in the world for engineers and people who can write code than there will ever be supply. And so we all live these very charmed lives. To get the very best people, we try to make the office as awesome as possible.
We have a fantastic chef,
Free food,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
free laundry,
Snacks, even places to play and video games and scooters. There's all these kind of interesting things around the office and places where people can play or relax or go to think or play music or be creative.
I went on the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the United States, and there's about a third of the pie that's all the things you would expect. It's, they're working in the government, they're working in typical technology jobs. But then, like, the rest of the pie, and it was the majority of the pie, just split down into these little teeny slices of every industry imaginable. And what it is, computers are everywhere. You want to work in agriculture? Do you want to work in entertainment? Do you want to work in manufacturing? It's just all over.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, information, and none of us know how to read and write code.
So you guys, what else? Who else has an idea of what we can change with our programming? What else can we do? Tiffany?
What I saw my students take away from using Scratch and programming in our classroom is that they were willing to push through problems. It really builds critical thinking, it builds problem solving, and it's something that they can then apply to math in the classroom or their reading skills. We integrated science with this programming, and I saw my scores go up 30%.
When I was in school, I was in this after-school group called the Whiz Kids. And when people found out, they laughed at me and, all these things. And I'm like, man, I don't care. I think it's cool. And, I'm learning a lot. And some of my friends have jobs.
It's important for these kids. It should be mandatory to be a citizen on this planet, to read and write code.
I just think you have to start small, right? And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about computer science and programming overall is that you have to learn this big body of information before you can do anything.
You don't have to be a genius to know how to code. You need to be determined.
Addition, subtraction, that's about it.
You should probably know your multiplication tables.
You don't have to be a genius to code. Do you have to be a genius to read? Do you have to be a genius to do math? No? No?
I think if someone had told me that software is really about humanity, that it's really about helping people by using computer technology, it would have changed my outlook a lot earlier.
Whether you're trying to make a lot of money or whether you just want to change the world, computer programming is an incredibly empowering skill to learn.
To be able to actually come up with an idea and then see it in your hands and then be able to press a button and have it be in millions of people's hands. I think we're the first generation in the world that's really ever had that kind of experience.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
I think it's amazing. I think it's the closest thing we have to a superpower.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.